Done played 2 games, guys, and it's time for us to get back on the winning track. And we haven't played well in the last 2 games. And when you don't control the line of scrimmage, when you have penalties, when you have missed assignments, when you have tackling, and you don't tackle well, but those things are the reason why you lose football games. And it's where we are beating ourselves. We look at that first game, and I know we didn't score any points, but we had our opportunities where you had the momentum early, you drop a ball, then you come back and drop another pass, and then you give up a pick six for a touchdown. Then you get into this game, this past game, and we go up 3-0, and then we have the ball 1st and goal on the 1-inch line, and then we have a penalty. The ball goes back, and then still had an opportunity to try to reach over with the ball, and we don't get to score. But even though we may think we're playing, really well in one phase of the game, we got to play well in all 3 phases of the game. From offense to defense to the kicking game. We're a team. We win as a team. We play as a team, and we lose as a team. But the thing about it is that we're better than what we're showing right now. And as a coaching staff, I told our coaches, we got to get going. And because our players are going to play the way we play, the way we go out and coach them, not the way we play, but the way we coach them, how we react. It's got to be confidence. They got to believe in themselves, and we got to make sure that whomever we put out on the field, they can execute and do everything we ask them to do.
Can you say that Blake Barnett is going to be your starting quarterback for the rest of the year if he doesn't get hurt?
What you have to do is it comes back to just evaluation, and we're going through that process right now. And we know this. Blake has played a lot of football around here, but Jordan played really well when he went into the game on Saturday, and he's a guy that led the team down the field and got us to score. So we can, we got a chance to see him now, so we can go back and assess and see what we need to do, and just see where we it turned into a competition. And you let those 2 guys go in and just see who's going to come out, and whoever plays well to get an opportunity this week in practice. Then you go into that game, and then we'll put the right one out there. Well, I'm not afraid to make that change. I know that I had a similar situation when I was at Louisville with Teddy, and he came in, and his game was he had to start in the Kentucky game. So he came in the Kentucky game and played well for us. We ended up beating him. So it's that decision. It's going to come down to which one of those. Yeah, that's why you have practice, and we get a chance to look at them. I know we've seen a game situation. And I know everybody, everybody have their own thoughts, but we're going to put the right guy out there.
Don't you need to stabilize that? Get that done pretty quickly with who the quarterback is with the conference season now coming up? And what about the fact that how does the team feel? If the team feels that they have a better chance to win with McLeod, isn't that something that could be a problem?
Well, it's going to be stabilized. It's going to be stabilized fairly quickly. And the team, it's like anytime you have any battle, and we have similar battles at other positions also, but the quarterback position is the most visible just because if he's doing all the handling. But there are some other positions that also need where we got to take a serious look at because we're not getting production out of that position.
So you're 2 games in right now. We've seen play from both Blake and Jordan so far, maybe not comparable situations, but would it be too early to say there's a quarterback controversy?
Well, it's anytime you have 2 guys battling for a position, everyone's going to say it's a controversy. But, like I said, we have a chance to really look at the tape. And you're right, Jordan has not played as much as Blake has played, but the opportunities he's been given, he's taken full advantage of it and has done a really good job. So we can't be afraid to make that change. But it's going to be a chance where we have a chance to sit down with both of those guys, and they're going to understand just exactly where they are.
Do you guys have a plan for South Carolina State with regard to quarterbacks just yet?
We have a plan. Yeah, we're going to have a starter to go in, and so that guy's going to be the guy.
Charlie, you talked about the line of scrimmage. Does the offensive line have to be reevaluated? Is that another area?
Well, anytime you go and you play a game, it begins at the line of scrimmage. And I say that our offensive line has to dominate their defensive line. We can't run the football right now. And so when you don't run the football and you make yourself one-dimensional, then that put added pressure on a quarterback because now all of a sudden if you can't run the ball, now we got to throw it. So now they can bring their outside speed and they rush us, and now they can get the sacks and the quarterback gets hit. But I always say that. Then you also look at we got to win at the wide receiver position. When their DBs come up and they get in press coverage, we got to win outside. And guys got to get open. And when we throw the football, we got to have a chance to go catch it. We've seen guys, we had a couple of times there Saturday where guys was running wide open, but, the opportunity, there wasn't always guys running wide open. So when they're not running wide open, can we win? Can guys get off of press coverage and beat a guy one-on-one, and it allows, a free lane there to throw the ball? On Johnny's touchdown, he beat the guy, gave a guy a move, then he came back underneath, and he beat the guy, and he's open. And then Wilcox, they's trying to play man coverage on us, and we was able to make a rub and get him to the outside. But we have to win there. And I tell our DBs the same thing. When we cover their wide receivers, we had to win at the line of scrimmage. The game's played at the line of scrimmage. We had to win at the line of scrimmage, and that's where we're not doing a good job right now.
Is there a chance that the left tackle situation will be addressed between Billy Atterbury and Josh Blanchard?
Well, it's going to be like I said, with a whole lot of positions, they're going to be addressed, and that's one. When we talk about our offensive line, that's a position that's got to be addressed. And everybody's you look at it, and they get a chance each and every day where we go against our defensive front. So when we go to one-on-ones and whether it be run blocking and pass pro, some of those guys are getting beat. So we got to give other guys opportunities.
In that defensive line, you mentioned winning at the line of scrimmage. I mean, they did that quite a bit on Saturday afternoon. Talk about what that defensive line has brought for you.
Well, with the addition, what's been good for our defensive line, you get Slade, who comes in as a grad transfer, so he's playing very well for us. And Kegler had a big game on Saturday, which we was waiting for that to happen for him because he was in practicing very well. And even Kurt Livingstone, what we've been able to do with Kurt is that because the way Slade has come on, we've been able to move him around so he can go inside. He's not very big, but he's very quick inside, so he can go in and play the 3 position for us and then leave Slade outside to rush from the outside. But our defensive front is coming along very well. But, even we just got to get stops, and we got to continue to get stops, and we got to continue to improve. Because if you're going to have a good defense, your defensive front have to play well. So right now, with us getting the pressure and being able to get tackle for losses and getting sacks and putting pressure on the quarterback, then you're getting the play from your defensive D-line.
I know it's different personnel and a different scheme from last year to this year, but your defense allowed 400 less yards or 350 less yards in the game last year. What was the key to limiting them in the yardage?
They didn't run that option on us.
Yeah, sure.
If they had run the option, who knows how different it would have been. But it's like, even if they had ran the option, I know it's a lot of scheme to it, and you just don't see it enough. So that's why it's so different now that the quarterback is dropping back. And then we went into the game knowing we had to stop the quarterback because I know that last year when we hurt the starter, then he came in. Only thing he did was ran the quarterback, and he got a lot of yards himself just running the quarterback power, and we weren't able to tackle him. But this year we did a good job of just running to the football and getting him on the ground.
This team's been one of the most penalized teams in the country the last couple of years. And again at Tech, there were a couple really critical penalties that really hurt you. What can you do to get this team to be playing more discipline?
Well, the thing that killed us, the thing that got us at Tech was the one with the false start, and then that really hurt us. And then we was coming off, we got another false start. And that's what I tell our guys, we're not good enough to just give yardage away. And, the interference call was a good call because we grabbed the guy on the interference call. But, and I told someone the other night, I said that a lot of times I think it goes by which school you're at. And I had it with one of our officials. And I said, because sometimes you just look for things. I said that in that game, and I don't ever complain about the officiating, but there's a lot of calls could have went their way too that wasn't called. And so I think that just because of where we are set, and I say that there as officials, and I tell them before the game, if you don't need to talk to me if we ain't gonna call this thing, if we ain't gonna call it, straight up, I don't need to talk to you. Now, if you got your way, and then those are even our conference officials. Those were their officials. They was from the.
You had those two back-to-back.
Back-to-back, yeah. Well, the one was a face mask, and the other one was the interference call. But we still had a chance to stop them there because we got them back to third down, and we ended up allowing them to complete a ball when we felt like that we could have challenged them, and then we got the sack.
Macon's got to sit out the first half.
Macon has to sit out the first half. Yes.
What explanation did you get on the goal line situation? It's like a touch.
Well, they said that since they didn't call it from on the field, that they could not go back and once they made the call, it was a call. And so they said the official said he never saw the ball cross the plane.
You
So-
think this team has put the first 2 games behind them now that they're ready to move on, and none of this is gonna carry over?
Well, you have to, and it's not going to carry over because now you still got this game coming up, and you still have conference play. So that I don't think that it bothers them. And I know that it frustrates them, and they're all frustrated over the 2 losses, and they should be because if you're a competitor, you lose games, you should hurt from behind. But you have to move on. You can't just let yesterday use up today. So we got to move on and just get better. And guys got to understand they all want to be held accountable, and just like us as coaches, and they know what they have to do to improve to get better.
What's the key to getting Jordan McLeod going? Or excuse, not Jordan McLeod, Jordan Cronkrite, sorry.
Well, you're going to have to, but we got to do a better job of establishing the run game. So if you establish the run game, I mean, that's a 1,000-yard rusher from a year ago. So if we get the run game established, then he's going to get going. But we're going to have to block people and put our hats on people, and we got to move the line of scrimmage. You can't, every time you look up, you can't hand the ball off, and you got to, fake a guy out, and then all of a sudden you try to go get positive yardage.
Stud still said on Saturday that you guys are cooking with gasoline, but you guys still need that spark. What do you think that spark needs to be?
Well, you got to win. I think once you win, then the gasoline may get going, but you have to win. And that's the thing with our guys; they have the right attitude. We haven't finished the way we need to finish. But Studstill's been around. He's seen a lot of ball, and he's a guy that, even though he's just got into the program, a guy that shows a tremendous leadership ability. So and guys listen to him.
Having that better leadership, guys who have been around, been at different schools even, does that help some of the younger guys maybe get through an 0-2 start?
Well, it's helped our defense because if you look at it, why we're playing so well on defense, you have Studstill, who was coming from another school, you have Slade coming from another school, you have Macon coming from another school, and you have KJ, and all 4 of those guys are starters for us. So it has really helped us because those guys have come in with a lot of experience, and they really show guys how to work and how to go out and compete each and every day, and you get it on that side because of what you have coming in.
What impresses you about South Carolina State? What did you see?
Well, the same thing. We got to go back to stopping the quarterback again. He's a guy that the ball is in his hands a lot, and he's gonna. He's probably a better thrower than what we saw last week, and he can get the ball down the field. Has a really nice receiver. I think he's around 6'3", 6'4". They throw the ball up to him. But we just we have to be gap sound. We got to take care of our assignment, and we just got to play. We have to go out and play, and we got to play fast. And we have to have some rhythm. We got to have rhythm on offense. We have to have rhythm, be aggressive on defense, disrupt the rhythm on defense. But we have to have rhythm. We have to come out, and we have to get ready from start to finish. We can't come out there and start just in slow motion. It's just going through the motion. We got to tick, and we got to go, and guys have got to move. And if we get the rhythms established on offense and disrupt the rhythm on defense, then we should have us a good day.
You and Buddy Q go back to Coach Holtz's staff, right?
Yes. So I know Buddy. We were on the staff together at South Carolina, and Buddy's had been a long-time high school coach there with a lot of success and won a state championship, and then has his alma mater there, South Carolina State. And but he's an outstanding coach and has done a good job of what he's had to work with.
Just to clarify, quarterback, it's going to be doing practice this week. What day would you like to have that decision making unfold?
Well, it's going to unfold fairly quickly because our 2 work days are Tuesday and Wednesday. So when you get into Thursday is now we're just reviewing the plays. We're going back through it. Our guys knowing exactly what they have to get done. So it's gonna be done fairly quickly.